I call the regular meeting of the Milliken Board of Trustees for March 27th, 2024 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the town clerk please call roll?
Trustee Beckman? Here. Trustee Dean?
Here.
Trustee Lane?
Here.
Trustee Meisner?
Here.
Trustee Wakeman?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Here.
Mayor Austin?
Here.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Does anyone have any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening? Hearing none, I'll take a motion.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman? Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Do we have any citizens' comments this evening? Anybody that would like to address the board? Hearing none, we'll go over that and we'll go into our proclamations. And our first proclamation is for Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Whereas there is a growing population of children and adults with developmental disabilities who reside in the town of Milliken, and whereas historically people with developmental disabilities were institutionalized and/or segregated from their families, friends, and communities, and whereas in 1987, President Ronald Reagan officially declared March to be Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, the theme of National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month was decreed that for many of these people with developmental disabilities, there is now the prospect of a brighter future and a greater opportunity. Americans are becoming increasingly aware that such disabilities need not keep individuals from realizing their full potential in school, at work, or at home, as members of their families and of their communities. And whereas the ARC of Weld County proudly supports National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, urging, as President Reagan did before them, that all Americans join together in providing to our fellow citizens with such disabilities both encouragement and the opportunities they need to lead productive lives and to achieve their full potential. Now, therefore, I, Mayor, by virtue and of the authority vested in me as Mayor of the town of Milliken, Colorado, do proclaim the month of March 2024 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in the town of Milliken, Colorado, and urge all citizens to support programs that serve people with developmental disabilities and to ensure that all people with disabilities are treated with the dignity and respect that they so deserve. Dated this day, 27th of March, 2024. And we have with us an individual from ARC who would like to address the board. If you would like to step up to the microphone, please.
Thank you, Board, for your time tonight, and thank you very much, Mayor, for that proclamation. My name is Stephanie Watson-Lewis, and I'm from the ARC of Weld County, and I am proud to say that I provide support for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities as my full-time job. And I just want to say thank you again, and yeah, we're here to support the community, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you to you and your family for coming. All righty, our next proclamation is for Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable source giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Elizabeth Austin, Mayor of the Town of Milliken, do hereby proclaim April 18th, 2024 as Arbor Day in the Town of Milliken, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this future generations. Dated this 27th day of March, 2024. Thank you. There's our proclamations. And we will now move on to the meeting minutes. Is there any discussion or comments on the minutes of the meeting for March 13th, 2024? I'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Meisner,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Do we have any questions on the paid list of bills? I signed most of those checks. I don't have any questions. We'll move on. We'll now have the town administrator's report. Administrator Powell.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I did want to announce that the Milliken Police Department's Easter extravaganza, I can say it, is Saturday, March 30th at 10 a.m. This is for children ages 0 to 9 of age. It will be held at Knowledge Quest Academy, 705 South Schoolhouse Drive here in Milliken. Also, the Easter Bunny will be available to take pictures with your children. And this is a free event for residents, or those that aren't, whoever wants to attend. Also, our Parks Department has been working on installing additional trash receptacles around some of the parks, replacing benches, attacking goat heads along the pathways. So they've been out there doing a lot of cleanup, getting ready for spring, trying to get things taken care of. And power washing the fence out of the dog park, getting ready for it to be stained. Also, out of the 30 contractors that appeared for the pre-bid meeting on Weld County Road 23 3/4, the town received 12 bids, as you'll see in tonight's packet. So I think that was a pretty good turnout, both ways, the pre-bid meeting and also how many people submitted bids. So John will be busy. In January, the town submitted a request to the Department of Local Affairs for an administrative grant of $25,000 to apply towards the design and engineering of Center Drive, that is in the town's industrial park. Last week, we were awarded this grant. So,
Yay.
yeah, so yay. Keep going. Thank you very much, Department of Local Affairs. We're also meeting with them next week on the 2nd, actually, on Election Day. So to talk about some other funding sources that they have. So that's all I have.
Any questions from the board? I'd just like to say that I really do appreciate the staff's continued work on getting grants to help every dollar counts for our town, and certainly acquiring another grant for engineering services towards an important project is well appreciated. Thank you very much.
I've got a quick question. Is is the highway department done with all the signage?
Yeah, I
Because
think
they
they're all 25 that are supposed to be 25 now.
Okay.
Instead of 25, 30, 25, yeah.
And they were doing some work on the light, some of the flashing lights too, they did?
No, they replaced some of they probably didn't touch the lights that I know, but they replaced some of the pedestrian crossing signs.
Okay, because you were talking about lights, like making them bigger or something.
We were, and John Rabus, Streets Director, did check into that. In order for us to do that, I think the cost was like $6,800 in order to enlarge the current flashing beacons.
Okay, all right. Thanks for looking into that. Yeah, okay.
So,
All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, next, we have the consent agenda, which is the approval of the purchase of the senior transit van. This has already been through our budget process, so I'll take a motion on the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. We have a large action agenda this evening.
We're going to have a busy summer.
Yeah, eight items on the action agenda, wow. Okay, first item, consideration and approval of an MOU between Milliken and Johnstown to change the use of capital stock in the Consolidated Hillsborough Ditch Company. Presenting is Scott Holmwick, Town Water Attorney.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, trustees. Thank you for allowing us the time tonight. This is a proposal from staff and from council and also from our town's consulting engineer, Forrest Leaf. You'll recall, 6, 7, 8 months ago, we were in front of the board talking about the possibility of working with Johnstown on a water court application. And this is the culmination of at least agreeing on how the two towns might work together on a water court application. So that's before you, it's in your packet. I can summarize briefly, and given your action items, I don't want to spend a lot of time unless it's necessary to answer and address questions. But the town previously had changed 14 shares of Hillsborough Water. In a previous decree, we've been using that water robustly for years since then. And when Johnstown approached us and said, hey, we're going to change our 7 shares, we said, go for it. Sounds good. We'll watch. Along the way, we thought that there was probably some value and some benefit to collaborating with Johnstown, primarily because, and you guys will recognize that you just worked on a boundary line agreement between the two towns to define service areas. Some people that own Hillsborough shares live in what is our service area. Some that own shares live in what's Johnstown's service area. And this agreement kind of fleshes out the people that would like to have their shares changed in this water court case above and beyond Johnstown's 7 shares. Would like to have some certainty that in the future they can go to a town annex in and have some ability to exchange changed water, which is valuable, for annexation, potable, non-potable, whatever the town ends up determining is useful for that particular transaction. So this is a forward-thinking application for the town of Milliken. We have surveyed all of the shareholders in the Hillsborough Company. On top of Johnstown's 7 shares, there are 62 minus 7, 55 additional shares are added to this application that people on either side of the service line boundary have decided they want to take to water court with us. So there are 13 on the Milliken side. There are, whatever the other number is, the Delta on the Johnstown side, that are basically pledging their future use of that water to those towns. So there's a value for the town to contribute some dollars towards this application. It's a longer term play. It's not something that's going to give us wet water for 2025, for instance, but we'll have that opportunity to make sure that water that's historically been within our service area stays within our service area. So that's the primary reason. The nuts and bolts of it is more financial, and certainly I'm not providing you any great grant funding news tonight, but there would be some costs associated with the application, and it's really 2 things. The first piece is, under the ditch company's bylaws, we're obligated to go to the ditch company and ask for their approval and permission to go to water court. So the two towns would work collaboratively on getting that information to them. Once they approve, we would then file it in water court. We think that's probably towards the end of this calendar year, based upon how slow-moving a train this has been in the last, I don't know, 12, 14, 15 months. But we think that that's doable, and that would postpone most of the water court application costs until the 25 budget. The water court application will probably be a 2 to 3 year process, so that's going to be a 25 budget item, a 26 budget item, and a 27 budget item. I think the good news is that we will spend commensurately less than Johnstown. We're going to take our 14 shares that have already been quantified and changed, and we're going to add the possibility in the future of using those for municipal purposes in case Central Weld County Water District comes up with a way to utilize Hillsborough water in their supply. Then we'll have a different source of municipal supply as well. So that's been done. We don't have very much engineering work to do on that. Johnstown has all of the engineering work to do on all of their shares. So our contribution will be less than Johnstown's, but they're going to get some more bang for the buck earlier than we will because they're moving forward with bringing their Hillsborough shares into their potable system that exists. So that's the nutshell. I think the only thing I'd say is that there is not an Exhibit A attached to this MOU, which is supposed to be there, primarily because we haven't yet got 100% certainty that the 62 shares is 62 shares and not 61 shares. In any regard, we do have 13 shares that we know are ironclad that have been pledged to Milliken, so we can work on those for those landowners on their behalf. Johnstown still has to figure out their piece. They had a water court trial that was scheduled this month that ended up getting postponed and continued, but they were very silent because they were very engaged and focused elsewhere. That said, this is presented to you for approval. It allows us to begin to work on submitting an application to the ditch company to get us into the water court queue. And it just outlines the cost allocation between the two towns and the process by which one of us can disengage if we choose to. I think it's protective of the town. Staff and council recommend approval. Happy to answer questions.
All right. Questions from the board, starting with Trustee Wakeman.
So if we adopt this without the attachment A, will that come back before us when it's prepared, or are we just?
In my opinion, and certainly Mr. Gould can contradict me, the question is, we have a list of shareholders that have pledged shares, and one of them is needing Johnstown to follow up and determine whether they're going to or not going to. I don't think that's material for the town of Milliken's perspective. Our cost allocation at the moment is a 2179 split. If it's 61 shares instead of 62, it goes to 21.6, and it's minuscule. I consider it nominal at best, but if Mr. Gould thinks it needs to come back, then it can. It's just really a whether one stays in or whether one doesn't. So that would be my answer.
I see.
Sure.
Thank you.
Trustee Lane?
I have no questions.
Trustee Meisner?
No, I have no questions.
Trustee Dean?
I have no questions.
Trustee Beckman?
No question, thanks.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
No questions.
And I don't. You were very clear and concise. Thank you for your presentation.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And no further questions. I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to approve the MOU between Milliken and Johnstown to file a joint water court application to change the use of capital stock in the consolidated Hillsborough Ditch Company, and further direct staff, Lyons Gaddis and Forrest Leaf, to draft, file, and adjudicate the change of use case.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Yes.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Meisner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, trustees. We'll look forward to bringing you back news of progress
Okay.
sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Next item is consideration and approval of an MOU between Milliken and Front Range Fire and Rescue for emergency management services. Presenting is Cheryl Powell, Town Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So this memorandum of understanding would allow Milliken to utilize the emergency management coordinator, who is John Davis, through Front Range Fire and Rescue. We've been working with him. We're working towards an IGA that will be a joint IGA with Johnstown, but we haven't gotten there yet, having that concluded. So in order for Mr. Davis to have any authority in working with staff, this memorandum of understanding is important.
Questions from the board? Trustee Dean.
No questions.
Trustee Beckman.
No questions.
Trustee Miesner.
The only question I have is any idea how long it's going to take Johnstown to get around to either going along with it or approving it or whatever they need to do?
No, I don't know. And there wasn't, it wasn't because they didn't have any issue with the IGA. They've had more important things, I think, on their plate. So I think it'll happen, but I don't know when. It's very hard for me to determine.
Trustee Lane.
I have no questions.
Trustee Wakeman.
No questions, thank you.
Well, you have been working very diligently on this since October, and I appreciate your efforts. Just on the IGA portion, I know there was work you did before that, so at this time, if there's no further questions, I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the town of Milliken and the Front Range Fire and Rescue Fire Protection District as presented.
Second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Miesner?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is consideration and adoption of ordinance number 814, amending and updating sections of chapters 16 and 18. Presenting is Pepper McClanahan, Community Development Director.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. Before you is a resolution which is reflective of a Senate bill that was passed in 2023, changing the name of the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, known as COGCC, to the Energy and Carbon Management Commission, ECMC. So we have code references throughout Chapter 16 and 18 of our code that list either the full name or COGCC references, and this ordinance will change those to the new name of the agency. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
All righty, questions from the board, starting with Trustee Miesner.
No, I have no questions.
Trustee Lane.
No questions.
Trustee Wakeman.
No questions, thank you.
Trustee Beckman.
No questions.
Trustee Dean.
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
I have no questions.
You, and neither do I. It's pretty straightforward. Take a motion on the matter.
I move to approve ordinance 814 of amending sections of chapter 16 and 18 of the Milliken Municipal Code.
Second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Miesner?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'm going to turn the rest of the meeting over to John Rabus. Might as well start heading on up, John, because you're going to take residence up there for a little while. First item, consideration and authorization of the mayor to sign a construction agreement with A1 Chip Seal Company. Presenting is John Rabus, Streets and Facilities Director.
Good evening. County Road 46 is extremely difficult to maintain due to the high traffic volume. Each year, we spend approximately $20,000 on dust mitigation. We have investigated several different methods to help us maintain County Road 46, and the double chip seal is highly recommended. Douglas, Adams, and Larimer County, they apply the double chip seal to their county roads. The city of Boulder also uses a double chip seal on their gravel roadways. And I've been in contact with Bob Devane over there with the city of Boulder. He's their public works director, and he's been extremely helpful in this process.
So on this, John, it's from County Road 21 to County Road 19.
Yes.
All right, And I believe that we budgeted for this already, didn't we?
We did.
Just wanted to make that clear. All right, questions from the board, starting with trustee Beckman,
No questions.
trustee Dean,
No questions.
trustee Wakeman,
No questions.
trustee Lane.
So when is this all going to get done?
Probably, we don't have a schedule built out yet, but I'm assuming June, July.
Okay.
July would be the latest.
Because I refuse to go on that road anymore because I just replaced my rack and pinion and I'm just not worth it. So I'm not going to go on it until it's fixed, for sure.
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, we had discussed it, I think it was the work session, doing it after school was out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we need the temperatures to help it cure also.
Okay.
Trustee Meisner, any questions?
Yeah, this is County Road 46, and where is it from?
Basically, it starts at the dirt on 46 to 19.
So it's County Road 21, right?
Right.
To 19.
19
It's
So,
not quite a mile stretch
19
there.
to 19. It goes up and over the hill.
Okay,
over the-
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I was having a hard time figuring out where we were talking about. I appreciate it, thank you.
Any questions?
I got one question. So there's a couple soft spots over there in that road.
Right.
I think we put some fly ash in there to firm that up before
We're
we do
gonna
this project.
do
so we
fly
don't lose
ash,
the
and
road.
also we're gonna come back with the layer base. And with the drainage culverts that got purchased, I don't remember right off the top of my head how many culverts are going in there, but I think there's a minimum of 3 more culverts that we're installing on 46, just to get the water off of the roadway.
That's good, too.
Was it a total of 6, I think, wasn't it, on those?
Right off the top of my head,
Yeah.
Cheryl, I don't remember.
And they're going to be doing that work next week, the culvert work. So,
All-around improvement in the area, so.
Okay.
All right, I have no further questions, so therefore I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to authorize the mayor to sign construction agreement with A1 Chip Seal Company for double chip seal on 46 for $113,203.16.
Second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
trustee Meisner,
Yes,
trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
trustee Beckman,
Yes.
trustee Dean,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes,
Motion carries.
A1's going to be visiting us for a while. That's our second contract. All righty. Next item, consideration and authorization of the mayor to sign a construction agreement with GLH Construction LLC. This is the 23 3/4.
Thank you. Like Cheryl said in her, earlier there, 30 construction companies attended the mandatory pre-bid meeting, and we did receive 12 bids. The proposed project will generally consist of reconstruction of Weld County Road 23 3/4 from State Highway 60 State Highway 60 to East Ash Street. The site improvements will include asphalt paving, detached sidewalks, some attached sidewalks, new curb ramps, street lighting, and a storm drainage system. The roadway will have 2 13-foot travel lanes, a 12-foot center turn lane, and I did bring plans if anybody would like to look at them.
I'd like to see him.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe after the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Comments from the board. Trustee Lane, is there anything else?
I have no comments, just excited that this project is going to be underway here soon.
Okay. Trustee Wakeman?
Did we receive the list of bids? I don't recall that.
it's in there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very last page.
Okay, I just missed it then. I was just gonna request that since we have it, we're fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trustee Meisner?
no, I'm glad to see the project going forward.
Trustee Beckman?
I don't have any questions, but I think it's important to say that, to include that for the lighting as well, for, that you guys are gonna put in some prelim in case there's ever a street
Right.
light or
Signal.
signal. Thank you.
Conduit.
You're right. Thank you. Can you guys fill that in for me? You all know what I'm talking about. If you could translate that, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Dean?
No comment.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
I'm not.
Okay, great project, really looking forward to it.
And Mayor, if I might,
Yes.
again, if it wasn't for the Department of Local Affairs and their grant funding on this project of $952,613, I'm not sure we would have been able to do it. So it
Correct.
would have been taking money from other projects that are important as well, so.
And DOLA is primarily funded by oil and gas.
It's an energy and mineral impact grant.
Should realize that. Okay. Thank you. All right, I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to authorize the mayor to sign a construction agreement with GLH Construction LLC for the construction of Will County Road 23 3/4 street improvement project for $1,479,103.63.
I second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Miesner,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Yes.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Consideration and authorization of the town administrator to sign a professional service agreement with Ground Engineering for County Road 23 3/4 project.
This is the materials testing services. The services that they'll be doing is testing for soil compaction, concrete, asphalt, and just the associated laboratory testing. Soil Logic did put in a bid on the project, but they only had a total of 8 concrete samples throughout the whole project, which is far below our quality control standards. While Ground Engineering proposed 145 concrete tests.
Oh, geez. That's a big difference.
All right, questions from the board, starting with Trustee Dean,
No questions.
Trustee Beckman,
No questions.
stutter, Trustee Miesner,
I have no questions.
Trustee Lane,
No questions.
Trustee Wakeman,
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
I have none.
Neither do I. Looking forward to this. Take a motion on the matter.
I move to authorize the town administrator to sign a professional service agreement with the Ground Engineering for material testing services for the Weld County Road 23 3/4 street improvement project for $24,790.
Second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Yes.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Miesner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, consideration and authorization of the town administrator to sign a professional service agreement with Tate and Associates.
And this administrative services will help me with daily inspections, weekly meetings, submittal review, bill change orders, and review of pay applications. And a Tate representative will be on site an average of 24 hours per week, starting in April. And we just kind of overkilled the number here. We went all the way until November 29th, which we don't think the project is going to take this long. But we just wanted to be safe, and that way I didn't have to come before the board the second time.
Understood. Questions from the board. Trustee Wakeman,
No questions.
Trustee Lane,
No questions.
Trustee Miesner,
No, I have no questions.
Trustee Dean,
No questions.
Trustee Beckman,
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
I have none.
Me either, so good job. I'll take motion on the matter.
I move to authorize the town administrator to sign professional service agreement with Tate and Associates for administration support services for the Weld County Road 23 3/4 street improvement project for $122,920.
Second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Yes.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Miesner,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Getting tired yet, John?
Not yet.
Hanging in there. All right. Last one, consideration and adoption of resolution number 24-10, a resolution in support of a grant application for DOLA.
Well, the Department of Local Affairs Energy and Mineral Impact Assistance Program Grant Fund has opened their spring grant cycle. If the grant is awarded, the town could receive up to $1 million for the construction of the Alluvial Well Blending Project. This grant is a 1-to-1 project match. And the construction of the alluvial well blending project is estimated to be $2,563,998.
Questions from the board, starting with trustee Meisner.
No, I have no questions.
Trustee Lane,
I have no questions.
trustee Wakeman,
No questions, thank you.
trustee Beckman,
No questions.
trustee Dean,
No questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
None?
All right, I think all my questions are answered, so I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to adopt Resolution 24-10 in support of the Town of Milliken's grant application made by the town to the Department of Local Affairs Energy and Mineral Impact Assistance Program Grant Fund for the construction of the alluvial well blending project.
I second.
Town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Yes.
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Meisner,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Good job, John. Thank you very much for coming in tonight. All right, the rest of our reports are written. Do we have any board member reports? Any meetings anybody would like to report on? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn then.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we're done for the evening. Thank you very much, everyone.
It's a lot faster.